likes of a Master Yi and Tarek. Nocturne, of course, going to be banned away on the red side. Seems to be one of the main must-bans, must-picks that we have here.
I wonder if they dropped the Rise ban they put out in game number 1, as that was, of course, the Ultra Comfort coming through for Sungyun, been his most impressive performing champion this season.
It's been both games that they ban it, so they really don't want Sungyun on it, but maybe they leave it up here for this final one.
So the first pick, Nocturne, was game number 1. Nocturne banned away this time. So we'll see what actually ends up flowing through. The Rise is the obvious one that has fallen here. But the Zoe is through as well, and I saw Lava, he looked pretty stoked about playing some Zoe. I think they will play it. I wonder if Kuro will go back to Old Faithful, which would be the Galio mid lane, which has been the kind of strongest pick that isn't LeBlanc into the Zoe. Kuro also a resident LeBlanc player, so wait
LeBlanc
to see.
Is also quite wonderful. So maybe just brings that one out here, but
you would pick it for yourself because you don't want to show your mid lane champion until you have to, and obviously no other one is expected to be taken away. So I think you're going to start off with maybe just the Ezreal Tahm Kench on the red side. There is the Ezreal.
Second Ezreal of the day. So we'll get locked in here. So Sungyun played in game 1. Now it's going to be aiming.
I like to think that it's Tucson saying, like, really? Do I have to play Tahm Kench? Rakan is available. Seeing what happens here. Could also just pick a jungler if they wanted, but those are the two expected picks at this pick, and it won't actually be a jungler. It might actually be a takeaway pick from Linderam.
Oh, nope. Flip to the side there. It's going to be the Aurelia coming in.
So it's a different way to attack the Zoe than we might have expected. Usually, when we've seen Zoe versus Aurelia, Zoe wins almost every time because the Aurelia execution has been pretty poor this season. Now, it doesn't have to be a mid lane Aurelia, but top lane Aurelia has not done particularly well. Just as a historical data point, this is actually very facetious, but one of our only people to ever play Aurelia support, ironically, was Tucson.
I was going to say, there's at least a 10% chance that Tucson is going to be playing that Aurelia in the bot lane.
That was a long time ago and a different Aurelia, but it did happen in Champion Summer 2015 when Tucson was on Incredible Miracle, which went on to become Longzhu, which went on to become Kingzone Dragonets.
Mundo locked in, though, for the top lane of Hanwha and Varus at the ADC. So it seems like it's still going to be Hanwha looking to go back to standard rather than play these crazy compositions. So just going to be Varus versus Ezreal in the bot lane. Supports yet unknown.
Best champion to trivialize the Zoe outside trying to slam her in lane is the Dr. Mundo. So nice to have the Mundo on the side of the Zoe. They could be friends, skip together. It will actually be, after all, the Ezreal Tahm Kench duo that Gen G is very mad they couldn't play earlier today against Katie Rolster. But that means that Tucson isn't on engage, and honestly, his play on the Tahm Kench in the final of LCK Spring wasn't fantastic.
Well, into the ban phase here. Soraka taken away from Afreeca. We've seen some priority on that, mostly into the Vladimirs in the bottom lane, but it's away a little bit.
It's really strong against melee champions. It'll be one of the ways they can relieve some pressure from Tucson, who, again, isn't on engage this time. We saw Court JJ have a very battle Tahm Kench game, and if things get a bit messy, can do quite a lot of work offensively, but obviously Tahm Kench expected to be answering the Zoe this game. See the second ban? They really don't want to allow a big, strong support here in terms of laning presence because already Varus outmatches Ezreal in the lane, and double counterpick would be painful for the Afreeca Freecs, and they ban away the Alistar. I want to give that one over to Key.
Off the board, do we see another support ban here? Or no, why would we? We already have the Tahm Kench locked in. Getting it mixed up a little bit, but top lane and jungle, the likely picks that still need to come through for the Afreeca Freecs.
Just ban Ornn if they want to, even though it's not usually a pick for Keenan. Look at this. They're not being trusting. You know what? The trust fall is failing because even though Aurelia's locked in, they say, I'm going to ban away the LeBlanc just in case, because Kuro is a fantastic LeBlanc player. Would expect the jungle pick here, and then potential for shenanigans at the final pick, unless Spirit's going to show us one of his legendary new junglers, like the Lulu jungle many moons ago.
Well, will be a Darius locked in. Still some ambiguity here, but seeming like it's going to be last pick jungle here for the side of the Afreeca Freecs.
Be pretty insane if it wasn't, because then it would be a jungle Irelia, which doesn't sound fantastic.
Ezreal jungle.
Well, this time it might not be a funnel comp, but still a Braum. Stranger things have not happened, but they will happen here. Come on, Braum. Braum support? Will it actually be Braum support, Achilles? An off-meta Braum choice?
Suddenly a Master Yi comes in. It's like, oh, it's bot lane window.
Looking for a jungle pick themselves, Hanwha Life Esports. They say, well, what sort of presence can you possibly have in the jungle? We'll just farm up on Sejuani. Risky with Xin Zhao open. But Xin Zhao doesn't fare too well on the team fights against Hanwha's comp, so it would be risky to pick. Let's see what Spirit wants. We think it's a jungle pick here. It'd be kind of insane if it wasn't.
Yeah. Jungle last pick. Rare today. Rare these days.
Definitely. And a lot of the best ones either banned away or taken out of the equation. Spirit is talking. What does Spirit want in the jungle? Okay. Gragas. Gragas support has been much more common this season. They're going to be going for Gragas jungle on the side of the Afreeca Freecs. Bouncing in a Zoe or a Varus is pretty happy times for the side of Afreeca. And you think about how much pandemonium can be caused by the explosive cask and the Irelia diving in with the Vanguard's edge, and perhaps they can assassinate one of the Varus or the good old Zoe. Waiting for the swaps to finish up. Songyun was actually on Braum for a half second there, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be more standard than that. Braum way off meta in the support.
Yep, so no Xin Zhao, no Nidalee, nothing like that. It's just going to be the Gragas coming through. So something a little bit more consistent, has some tankiness to it, and can displace the members of Hanwha Life and try to get some picks. Afreeca able to tie up the series 1-1, but even then still got to be feeling like they were gifted a miracle with that win in Game 2.
That's why the early game of game number 3 is even more important, Achilles. You need to turn it on in the early game, and if Afreeca can do that for the first time this series, maybe the sinking feeling will begin for the side of Hanwha Life Esports. First game we're seeing of the Irelia for Kuro in a while. 0-1 on the pick, and while the pick is set up to get on top of Varus or Zoe and kill them, so far in this matchup, Irelia teams have lost almost every time.
Well, Kuro going to try to go ahead and rewrite that statistic, try to get a win on the board here for the Irelia in the Zoe matchup. Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if Afreeca can, in fact, get the 2-1 victory that was expected of them here today, or if Hanwha can complete the upset. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Last time this evening.
Thank you for joining us live and also in the Twitch chat. We have a very good audience here at 10:11 p.m. local time. Bit of a late one, 3 games in the second set on a Saturday. The fans out in force, they want to see a victory in what has become a very, very close series. Game 1, Hanwha Life Esports, almost perfect gaming. Afreeca, Game 2, 778 health on the Nexus, and it was no stronger than that. Now we're in game number 3, and these are the numbers that don't make good reading. Overall, there is 4 wins for the Irelia and a total of 14 losses.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And a lot of people speculate as to why is it that we have bad Irelia players in the LCK. No, I don't believe that is true. I believe the big problem for Irelia is the majority of games she was power picked in, first rounded in. She was against no champions she does well against. Bruisers, no, they beat her in lane, they beat her in team fights. She wants to dive someone who wants to stay at range and just kill them, assassinate them.
Yeah.
And AD carries have not been common. That's why the Zoe matchup makes sense, but Zoe's pretty damn slippery when it comes to shutting her down, especially if she starts the fight with a flash. But Varus is the prototype of a champion that Irelia assassinates. So let's see if Kuro can do his job and shut down Songyun.
Already taking a lot of harass there from Lava. Knocks Kuro down to about half HP. That's a corrupting potion though. So as he, there we go, we'll use that first charge. He'll be okay as far as sustaining through this for the moment. In the meantime, Tucson trying to push forward. Get some harass in with that tongue lash.
Losing lane matchup for the Ezreal Tahm Kench, but getting the level 1 push, which is something that Ezreal can do even in bad matchups with his ability to Q auto, build up his passive, and also just kind of cancel autos one way or another. Is a big thing. Push is early, but Varus will overtake this lane, and we have to remember that TuSin isn't on engage, and that is usually a bad sign for the Afreeca Freecs.
Extra Ignite in the inventory there for Lava. See if he gets a chance to use it anytime soon. Ward over the wall will spot Songwon stealing away these Raptors, but nothing really that Spirit can do about it. Ignite does come down, Kuro just taking some extra bit of damage, and Songwon able to dash away.
Level 3 is on both sides. Often we see the level 2 action, but Gragas versus Sejuani doesn't always go that way. Gragas does have a very fearsome level 2 game, but didn't see it this game. Was able to pick up the bot side scuttle, top side scuttle going the way of the Sejuani, who hasn't had the changes that are coming her way in future patches, so still does a lot of damage to single target camps.
Keen going for a bit of a walk, wanted to get that plant, but instead it's fired off in his direction, so it does get spotted out.
Well, we see the Darius lane snowball on the Mundo, because we've actually seen Mundo win this lane matchup more than he deserves to. It's a very bad matchup for Mundo in a vacuum, but League of Legends, not played in a vacuum. There's no funnel, so there's junglers on both sides. Definitely some ways. I almost said janglers. That's not a word, but it's late. Sorry, guys.
I liked Jangle Junglers.
Jingle janglers?
Jingle all the way.
Good movie. Surprisingly.
I remember it fondly. I haven't seen that one in years, though.
Phil Hartman, one of my favorite comedians in that movie, was the voice of Lionel Hutz in The Simpsons, and also other characters did pass away around the same time that movie was released. But a fun movie, given the premise, and also it being an Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie. Anyways, aiming and TuSin back away. Some of the players here weren't even born when that movie was out.
Yeah.
Aiming, for example.
I'm sure there's a fair few people in the audience, the Twitch chat, who also are unaware of what that movie is.
Fair.
Spirit, though. Forward.
Ooh, Snagger Smite. Yeah.
Takes away the big raptor.
Well, it's not quite the early lead we were looking for, to double down on Hanwha's heartbreak after game number 2, but hey, every raptor you steal away feels pretty good.
He's going away empty-handed, so gets the big one, gets that nice 67 gold coming through.
And look at this build from Spirit. He's gone for the I'm everywhere Gragas and gone for Boots of Mobility Rush.
Yeah.
Doesn't help him in the jungle, but some gank paths are open to him, that's for sure.
As long as he can find him, otherwise this might just bite him in the rear.
Maybe the fastest fat man ever.
I mean, we saw in game 1 with the Trundle that he wasn't really able to find any ganks.
And
he
now
up to the top lane, wasn't able to get anything, but he does have more pathing options because of the body slam.
Now look at him. He's got Boots of Mobility. He's doubling down. If you buy this and then power farm your camps, you're just playing wrong.
We'll see what he decides to do. Wants to get probably, I don't know, a component of another item before he starts going for some ganks. He'll be spotted out taking his own Raptors.
With some AP ratio buffs onto the Gragas, so the old build of Runic Echo as the first item into tank might come back into play. Who knows, maybe there'll be more ability power. I could see a Proto Belt on Gragas, it's possible. So wait and see what the build is. He has no tanks on his lineup other than Tahm Kench, so Cinderhulk, you know, could be worked in there, or a full tank build, but we'll wait and see. He's going to stick on just the jungle item and walk over, get a Corrupting Potion.
Really just
a Dark Seal, sorry.
He's really just going for the raw power.
It's good for ganks. Dark Seal gives the ability power and mana. Not a Dank Seal, by the way. When you build 2 of them, that's when the Dank Seals come in.
Yep.
Just a single Dark Seal.
It's like triple Doran's being Budget Rod of Ages.
It feels like we're getting bonus League of Legends with the 3rd game here. Didn't seem on the cards for so long.
You and I always get bonus League of Legends.
I'm ready for bonus League of Legends, Kilios.
You and Max get the bonus podcasts. And then you and I get bonus League of Legends.
I've blocked out most of my calendar for LCK. Anything else is just a step away from it. So more LCK, completely welcomed. Especially when we're seeing some new stuff. First Gragas jungle of the season. And Kuro just insisting on this Aurelia that we need to be convinced of, given the recent struggles.
Well, so far he's keeping up relatively well as far as the CS is concerned. Taking harassing every now and then, but as long as he's not falling too far behind, I think he'll be all right. A trade there onto aiming. Songyin poking him down with a piercing arrow.
Keen has doubled down, and rushed execution is calling first. Phage very powerful, but went for boots, and the execution is calling. That's kind of similar to just a straight up Phage if you think about it, because you do have the permanent movement speed versus the rage passive. Wants to try and shut him down, but needs some friends to do so. And Spirit has been farming his jungle with boots and mobility, which I've already professed I'm not a fan of. Here he comes, though, Achilles. You readjust your headset, making sure you're comfortable for game number 3.
He's waddling his way in. That's a problem when you're wearing glasses, you know. Sometimes it can hurt the ears.
I must admit, I don't know your struggle. Lucky enough to be blessed with vision that didn't require glasses.
That's going to be the chain of corruption coming through. Songwan waiting around the back. Not going to find the ultimate, though. Throws that one wide, but they might still get Tucson, and they do. Doesn't pop the gray health shield, and will just fall for first blood.
Was in that LCK final where we hyped up Tucson as the engaged god, played Tahm Kench the majority of it, and struggled with his devour timings. This was just a really good gank, and they're going to continue.
Yeah, now they're looking for aiming yet again. Exhaust comes down. Gragas throwing out the explosive cast to try to dissuade them. Body slam in, but they still follow up, and now Lava has a kill of his own. Spirit limping his way back. Does escape, but Kuro might be able to get some kills. Finds one on the Lava Key, trying to retreat. Songwan going to get slowed up.
Tucson's back.
I'm not worried about Tucson unless, yeah, let's take a look at these guys. Kuro still on the chase. Pops the blades just to get that on cooldown. TP coming in the mid lane. And Afreeca Freecs trying to go all in onto this one key underneath the turret. Will get taken down. Kuro finds another one. And Tucson roams his way up and helps him claim a third. 3-2. Afreeca Freecs coming out on top in the long term.
In really creative fashion, the teleport from Keen was actually in damage of Linderang, but amusingly, Mundo has no interrupts to a teleport, so had to let him go. They weren't able to give anything to Keen, so his teleport and time very much wasted making that play. That's the only real good news story for Hanwha Life Esports. It was a really well-coordinated dive because they baited out the Devour, and then Songwan came in. Now, you know, kind of lived up to my name, and Smithy did a little bit when it came to the execution on the ultimate. But after that, they got the second kill, and it was only when the collapse happened that things were turned around on Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, no kills on the aiming. 2 going through there onto Kuro, the third onto Tucson. He's fast-track the Aurelia build here, perhaps. But otherwise, the assist coming through as Kuro just dashes around like a madman.
What does it all mean? We kind of have to take stock of where we're at in terms of the game. Darius still a CS lead, but Mundo got a decent back timing. That's not what you'd expect in the Darius lane. Mid lane, pretty competitive, but 2 kills allows Mercs and most of a Trinity Force to go the way of the Aurelia. Bot lane has been more even than expected, given that Varus really wins hard against Ezreal. Ezreal can kind of chop the lane, but very hard to find the aggressive plays against this lane. All in all, things pretty even. I just need to see more attention onto this Mundo because Darius wins to a point, and then things get a little bit more tricky when it comes to playing out this game for Afreeca Freecs.
Well, gold even across the board here. Mountain Drake really the only thing separating Hanwha and Afreeca at the moment. Scuttle Crab in the bottom side of the map going to be taken there by Songwan.
You were confused how Tucson got back to lane with the new Unsealed Spellbook. He teleported in and then went back to cleanse, of course, his original summoner that was cooling down in the background.
He's really excited to kill that control ward.
I think we'll see some more Unsealed Spellbook supports because the thing that always surprises me is they switch over to Smite and you have double Smite around a Baron. So you can take more risky Baron choice than you might imagine when you run this Unsealed Spellbook. Thanks, Mundo.
So good.
Working on a Saturday. Works really hard, that Mundo.
Business never sleeps. Spirit, a brush. Songwan's just going to be able to push forward. Lava roams down to the bottom side. They're going to wrap around here.
This has already found them a lot of advantages, but they were largely collapsed on last time. They know the teleport's not there from the Darius and is there from Linderang, so the outnumber potential is on the side of Hanwha.
Blue buff coming up. We've had a lot of fights over blue buffs here today. Seems like we're not going to stop yet. Tucson manages to pop the shield this time, but he's still going to be down about half HP.
Keen's trying to stay in range to apprehend Mundo away from a teleport.
Can't stop him. Blue buff going to be taken out. Light comes down, Songwon able to claim it. Keen says, I don't need to be this close to the tower then, so goes ahead and pulls back.
Turret dives on bot lane are how they won that first game. Lava's creative teleport was how they accelerated the game pace and got them out of bot. That's why Linderong would potentially have gone in, why controlling the blue buff, and thus bot lane was big.
Oh, Kuro
nicely done.
gets the lockdown there. Ult's going to come through. Lava slowed up. Goes in underneath the turret, but goes golden, so not going to be able to follow up for the kill. Thought maybe Spirit would go in for the ult, but doesn't have it available to try to pop Lava. But either way, Summoner Spell going to be down in mid. Kuro, nice little exchange there.
Really nicely executed on the E in particular to try to take him down. And I guess a mechanic we haven't discussed in the Aurelia Zoe matchup is like Galio, she has on-command damage reduction to not be popped by a paddle star. The W is the second max. You see that in mid lane commonly because you can also use it as line wave clear as the cooldown gets a little bit lower.
Keen goes a bit of an exchange here on the Linderong. We'll chunk him down a bit, but ultimate, of course, is in the back pocket of the window. Not going to be getting too much damage in onto him in the long run.
As a bit of a play-by-play feedback, I do appreciate that you call that an exchange rather than a trade, because I don't like it when people call it a trade when one person does 1,000 damage and takes no damage.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remember that one. It was a nice exchange from Keen. Speaking of nice
Ult
exchanges,
comes out, but ult answered. Linderong going to be fine in the end.
bad exchange rate today.
Yeah.
Well, Songwon on the bot side is going to be picking up red, but we're so close to some really big power spikes on the side of Afreeca. Double Trinity Force on the way. In fact, triple Trinity Force. Likely this game. Maybe Keen will take a note that I've seen a lot of Darius players talk about how no one's building Black Cleaver. This will be a pretty good game for one.
Songwon coming over the back. Ward does spot them out though. Impressive when you're playing against the Brahmas and Ezreal. Triple bubble not connecting there onto aiming. He's going to be fine, but the turret's still taking one hell of a beating.
And it's going to be triple Trinity Force, because why would anyone ever build a Black Cleaver? Against Sejuani, Braum, Mundo.
Yeah, I just don't see it working.
No value.
Not at all.
But that is the meta we live in, and triple Trinity Force, when it is built, does a lot of things. A lot of turret damage, a lot of Baron threat. Hell of a lot of burst onto non-tanky targets as well. And in a snowball meta, that has been the choice so far in the LCK.
Maybe he's going to get a Trinity Force and then a Black Cleaver.
No, he's not. I can't even abide by that idea. It's so... People do it, and it, it's pretty tilting. You can go Essence Reaver Black Cleaver as a build now and not be trolling, because you get 40% CDR out of it.
Yep.
It does something. They're different items than they were before. Keen walks up. Standard ward on the Grump that we saw mirrored in game number 1 of this series and get some value out of. It is Blade the Ruin King first. We see this quite a lot on our Rage Blade champions. Blade for laning, and then Rage Blade second is a very common build.
Feels like this might be a bit of a longer game here, Papa Smithy.
I refuse to believe that.
I don't know. We'll see. We're already 16 minutes in. A bit of action there into the bottom side of the map, but things have been slow and steady since then. But maybe they'll start heating up here as this Dragon Take comes through. Smote away there by Spirit. Gets the claim. Songwon in the back of the pit. Might have to pop the flash. Just going to be dodging out on the skill shots for now.
Actually, pretty poor teleport by Keen that time out. It was in no man's land after the objective went down. There was no reason for the enemy to fight.
A bit of an odd one. He's going to be pushing in that wave yet again, trying to maintain his lead. But all in all, it's just going to be a Cloud Drake going over to the Afreeca Freecs. Look at the damage numbers here so far. Standard.
Lane Supremacy versus Darius Lane Supremacy. That's where they got their wins in the draft, so expected they would have the highest numbers.
Gold still basically even.
Waiting for that triple Trinity Force strike. It's only a double right now, but the spike's going to be big. Somewhere Atlas will be watching and nodding his head. He loves Trinity Forces and power spikes.
Loves a lot of things. Mordekaiser's in there, Aatrox.
Swiftness Boots, Rage Blade.
A lot of things that just tilt a lot of other people.
Oh, he's just a hipster. He was into marksmith for a couple of weeks there, but Ruler and friends have brought it back. Now he's back to hating them.
How about that Mordekaiser?
Don't get any ideas, Deft. Well, Ezreal finally going to be completely disengaged on this turret. May not be at 12 minutes, but 17 minutes. Turret falls down. Life Esports had the advantage. And look at this. Where they're strong, they get turrets first. The game is going as expected.
Yep, 1-1 in that regard. Gold basically even to the 300, separating at the moment.
Where we go?
Voyage up to the top side. Going to be looking to take down Linderung. He's going to have a lot of damage to offer up here. Flash forward from Tucson. They really want this one just to get the tongue lash to slow him up, and that's going to be the dunk in the end. Keen finds the kill. 1-0-0 for him, but in the meantime, Songyun keep pushing up the wave here, and bot aiming going to be alone.
Can't really clear this because of the Unbreakable answering his ultimate. Wasn't available. Oni now comes off cooldown mid lane.
Kuro going a bit deep there onto lava, dashes away. Songwon trying to lock him up. Initial prison is available, but lava was just a bit too far behind.
Kuro has cleanse and flash and damage reduction on his W, so wasn't really too caring. But in the meantime, they do lose inner turret after giving up their outer turret and the bot lane. Big advantages there. And no answering inner turret for the Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, they get to about half HP, but I mean, you can look at the ultimates right there and you know exactly what happened. You already mentioned it. Aiming tried to use the True Shot Barrage. Unbreakable was there, and the turret just suffered.
In terms of trades, Hanwha Life Esports up 400 gold. What do you think of scaling this game? The reliable teamfight comp is Hanwha Life Esports. The execution-based comp is Afreeca, and largely how much work Irelia can do in a teamfight. Zoe Varus is very strong in the Siege. In a team fight, they have Engage, and they also have a Dr. Mundo to try to run at the Ezreal and slow him down. So I think it's easier to pull up Hanwha Life Esports comp, but the high highs of Darius, Irelia, and even the Gragas ultimate, which situationally can be awful and game-changing, means that Afreeca do have playmaking, so that does bode well. We do think that Hanwha Life Esports will win more games out of 10 if they got 10 shots, but there's only one shot, and that is why very excited to see where the 25 to 30 minute phase goes as Baron becomes a more realistic objective.
So far, Kuro, as far as the execution is concerned, has been doing quite well. 2-0-1 there with the Irelia, has a CS advantage over Lava. So playing it out in the lane has been doing quite well, but when you get down to the chaos of a team fight with the Gragas in the mix, that's when things could be a bit pear-shaped. Where the Afreeca Freecs aiming manages to get the True Shot Barrage, sees keys not in the lane. This is how I get to have fun.
Well, I'm going to have to be careful with what they choose, because when it comes to the items are cleaner on the side of Afreeca. It's Triple Trinity Force, it's Mana Immune, soon to be Mura Mana. Right now, the gold is being used a little bit more efficiently than most of a Rage Blade on the side of the Varus. The straight up 5v5 is something they're looking to avoid for at least the next couple of minutes before they get that Rage Blade purchase. All about map movements as Hanwha Life Esports walk up. They have some aggressive vision already. But poking first and then engaging, that right now is the name of the game for the side of Hanwha.
Seems like it would be both, but aiming can barely get any shots in because of that pesky Braum. Keen and Linderung going to find themselves down into the bottom lane. Keen doesn't have a tower. It's going to knock down that of Hanwha Life. TP back into the mid lane from Songyun just to rejoin faster and help make sure that this mid lane tower does not fall.
Who is relying on his intuition to make a couple of face checks that look risky, but so far have been fine. They get a lot of damage here. Oh, nice sidestep by Songyun.
That's still going to be the change coming in. Spirit has the flash away. Linderung is all alone in the back lane. Kuro jumping forward, chunks him down to half, but the ultimate comes through, and he is going to be staying alive here for the moment. Irelia ult out just to try to slow them and zone them back. Prison comes in, connects onto Keen. Members of Hanwha going low. Afreeca relatively healthy, but just don't really have the engage.
Such a hard commit if they do go in with flashes because of their melee nature. That means that no true engage happens. Engage very difficult for Afreeca. They want a 1-3-1 or collapse around an objective rather than look for a true initiation because they're short and Ornn. Only Gragas has an ability that can be answered very easily by the Braum Unbreakable. Back away. No harm, no foul. We thought that would be heralding some excitement. Maybe the Inferno will have to do it.
Spirit using the smite there, but have it back up. very shortly, but maybe not fast enough. Infernal going to get started up here by Hanwha. They'll start pushing forward. He's on a ward. Infernal's going to go over. Hanwha find their first dragon of the game. 22.5 minutes in.
Very important one in the Infernal. Infernal Mountain for a comp that has Zoe Varus. Important for both the poke, the engage, but also the sieging that they have on their side. Rageblade finished, so now things are a bit equal. Very late Nurman transformation, 22:33, and still stacking for the Ezreal.
Yeah, rushed straight through. Really long delay on building that tier.
Sheen for lane presence is something we see pretty commonly. I guess that's what was done here again, but the second back timing is greedy, and you end up with scenarios like this. Push up.
Love to see how much he's got remaining on it. You would expect that it's got to be done within the next minute or so.
Anything later than 24.5 minutes is like super late. Usually we're seeing around 19 to 21, I would say, is the most common timings. Gone are the 12-minute manas of the good old days. Jason Italy. Never forget.
Oh, when he would just gain mana for changing form.
Oh, boy. Kassadin's getting a buff similar to that on the PBE. It just changed over at 23:30, by the way. But Kassadin's getting a buff, whereas Netherblade is going from 0 mana cost to 1, which, of course, means that it then stacks tier.
Well,
the weirdest buff. Let's make it cost infinitely more. Because 1 is 0. But Afreeca have to play this game so differently to almost every other game we see them play because the initiator isn't Tucson, and that kind of provokes its own problems. To me, the way you win with this comp is you 1-3-1 while you create Baron control. Tucson switches over to Smite, and then you take a very fast Baron. That, to me, is the most controlled way they can actually pick up an objective and find a way to close this game.
That's that, or they have to pinch somebody in the side lane with the Abyssal Voyage. Turret does go down, though. Afreeca evening up that score. They find themselves ahead by about 900.
Double Sterix Gauge on 8-11. Works well with that Trinity Force. Ezreal feels left out. He can't build Sterix Gauge.
And we're very thankful for that.
Yeah. Those Kalista games. The tank Kalista's double lifesteal, Sterix Gauge GA.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
There have been better days.
And then they have a Thresh, so you can even catch them.
No.
It's bad times.
Graves from the jungle also. Abuser of Sterix Gauge. Sterix, Phantom Dancer Graves. One to forget. His ult is used here.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice little sleep there on a Spirit. He goes low, goes golden as well. The Devour is out from Tucson. Helps keep him alive. TP canceled out of the bottom lane from Keen. That's going to be Hanwha just pushing forward to take down this tower. There's not really anything that Afreeca can do. Aiming can poke, but that's about it.
We get to cheat. Hanwha Life Esports get to cheat a little bit because Linderon can tank up turrets. They don't even need a minion wave all the time as the game goes on. And from there, Zoe and Varus can reign in hell and siege.
I don't know why Aiming still tries.
There's definitely strategic sometime where you just use it to deny the Unbreakable for a team fight. But let's see if the turret dive comes.
Those final hits, Chain of Corruption going to come down, Devour out yet again, but both people going to get rooted. Keen and Tucson locked in. Stopwatch used to by Keen, keeps himself safe. Explosive Cast just knocking around the members of Hanwha. Several of them going to be low, but Songyun here, the main source of the wave clear, is still going to be healthy. Seems like he is not interested in defending this turret any further.
A lot of ultimates used, but the end game is that there's going to be mid lane turret exchanged for both teams and a teleport to mid. Okay, that's just a Tom Kench, I guess. Honestly, he does that just so he can switch over back to the cleanse, so it's the use of the Unsealed Spellbook, but I believe he won't be able to switch over to the Smite, so doesn't have the ability to get there anytime soon.
He just needs to be there to devour, you know?
Yeah.
That's his main purpose in life in this game.
Tom Kench likes eating. That's what he does.
Then he spits back.
I know. Maybe he just has a very refined palate.
As long as he's not asking for refunds when he goes to restaurants. You know, one of those people who eats like half the meal and they're like, I found a hair. Give me another.
That sounds like the worst type of person.
Yeah, and then they don't tip at all.
If you're that kind of person, please identify yourself to a Twitch moderator and we'll get rid of you. Not in my league. Well, game is slowed down. Seems like your prediction was correct, Achilleos. The Siege comp can't find a way to actually break inner turrets. Afreeca haven't got enough Baron control with a second smite. Game stalls out. Afreeca's waiting for Hanwha Life Esports to come to them. Hanwha Life are feeling good about where the game is going, as 3-item Mundo is on the menu very shortly. And until Hanwha Life feels good about where their flanks are at, it's pretty hard for them to push up, and the end result is a bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, I can see this one going a little bit closer to 40 minutes.
How about 94 minutes?
Sorry, I was having a flashback.
It's true. We'll edit that in later for the VOD.
Yeah.
They'll just edit in the flashback.
It needs to slow zoom on my face, play a soft piano tune while turning black and white.
Could it be Mad World also?
Could do that one.
Okay. Just thought. We can't afford piano tunes. They're out of our budget.
It's that or Sound of Silence.
True. That's my favorite OGN break song this season.
I don't know how we got the rights to that one. There we go. Cloud Drake fight. Oh boy. Gonna get started up, down to half HP. Paddle starts flying in, but not gonna connect. Cloud Drake gonna get found. Taken here by Hanwha as they try to exit. Spirit tossing in the cask is just gonna knock Linderong away. He'll throw out one last briefcase and everybody will go their separate ways.
Nothing sadder than Afreeca Freecs trying to initiate. Showed off an amazing E coming through from the Aurelia. That means that Hanwha Life Esports are a little bit out of position on the Baron. Not to the tune of Afreeca starting it, but you do start to wonder.
Yeah, they moved their way over there, but I believe they got, they have a little bit of vision here. From the pit will get cleared out by Spirit with the sweeper.
We glossed over this, but it's AP Greg.
Oh, yes, it is. No Cinderhulk.
Not even
And
a second tank item. The Runic Echo tank was the old build. Now it's Morellonomicon for better AP ratios.
That help deal with this window a bit.
So there is a team fight where aiming ults, Unbreakable is down, and then you get a huge value Gragas ultimate. But you'd imagine the priority for Key will change as the game goes on. And Frontline especially gets very easily able to tank up Ezreal ultimates. Otherwise, you are certainly getting a great trade if Unbreakable is trading for an AP Gragas ultimate.
Well, still going to be pretty stalemated here. 2 dragons each, Infernal and Cloud, the Mountain and Cloud of the Afreeca Freecs. And it's going to be another Cloud on the way.
I can't even fake enthusiasm for that.
Yeah. Boring. Control ward cleared out.
Control wards for side of Hanwha Life Esports around the Baron.
Oh,
Okay.
The lockdown in on a Spirit. They pile in. He goes down. Lava finding the kill. That can open up the Baron here for Hanwha. Tucson locked in as well. Has the cleanse. Pops it immediately. Then flashes over the wall into the red pit. Trouble bubble. Not going to connect. Hanwha now can start cheating their way around this. But that's going to be an apprehend coming through on a Songyun. He goes golden. The rest of Hanwha rushing over to his side to help keep him alive. Trouble bubble in on Keen. He's going to go low. Still has a Guardian Angel. Burrow going forward, has to go golden as well to stay alive. In the meantime, Aiming gets one last tag in on a Songwon. No junglers on either side, but now no mid laner here for the Afreeca Freecs. As Burrow will fall. Devour in on the King, keeps him alive, spits him out. They retreat back underneath the turret. Hanwha gonna start poking up, sieging in onto the tower, but the minion wave is quite thinned out.
Very unlikely place for action to start, but Darius got into melee range of Songyun and was able put in quite a lot of damage. The GA is popped from that. The Sterix was used, of course, by the Aurelia. We back away, but Hanwha can't really move their position forward. And because of the awkward respawn times, we actually see Afreeca get Baron control off the back of it.
Yep, still just that control ward sitting inside the pit right now, which will be taken by Spirit. Thought maybe they were going to try to fight around the Baron, but instead just all hell breaks loose in the mid lane.
Again, to me, Aurelia Darius decides this game, and also a Gragas ultimate, because this is Mundo, not shut down by Darius. Now, a 70 CS lead, you might say, but Mundo's got 3 sick items.
Oh,
so
he's happy.
He's really happy to run at the enemy Ezreal. Ezreal says, what am I supposed to do about this? So that will happen, and me, the rest of the team needs to be important. Baron's being started, and they have a lot of Baron damage coming through.
Taking the scuttle grab at the bottom side. He doesn't have a TP available. Baron's down to half HP. Spirit waiting, has the blast cone, ready to go. Seems like Hanwha's just going to go ahead and peel off of this.
Would have been a 50-50, so they end up making the call. But you're right, Keen was exposed for a moment. Afreeca seems surprised. Go back to the side lane, keeps up picking up farm. Again, Irelia could find a way onto the Varus and kill him. So the same could be true when it comes to making someone irrelevant.
This feels like deja vu.
It does.
Push in, drop control ward, kill enemy control ward, leave the Baron pit.
But standard lanes are killing this. Again, this is just the reality of the comps. Afreeca always have engaged from the support role. They don't have it, and thus they can't engage. Hanwha Life Esports had Game 2 stolen from them. And without the ability to push up vision, it is quite scary to push up and siege, which is what their comp does best. So they also are just trading farm. And we already outlined early in the game, it's kind of nebulous who wins in the late game. So both teams aren't feeling pressured. The end result is a trading of farm.
Yep, 1,500 gold. The separation here at 33 minutes. Both teams a bit too timid to look for a fight. Do not want to throw it all away here in Game 3. Very hungry for that win, especially Hanwha after their loss in Game 2.
To me, Hanwha has the easier route to victory. What I want to see them do is have Mundo combine with someone like he, put down flank vision, and then push up, because you feel really good about your siege. You feel really good about the fact that the enemy is only physical damage, and thus you have some great armor items. And then Lindorong can't even build a Spirit Visage because of the no magic damage on the side of Afreeca Freecs. And because your siege is so oppressive and their engage is low, there should be turrets for you to pick up and then objectives for you to fall back on. But because they're being a little bit too respectful around putting down flank wards, the game is slowed down to kind of comical degree, and thus we keep backing away. Hanwha Life Esports never actually gets the Baron control that they should be getting, and this is the result.
Maybe we can have another, not so much a fight around the Cloud Break.
At least the Elder Dragon will make things interesting, so getting that on the board is welcome to all viewers and Afreeca Freecs as well. So Elder will be around the 40-minute 30 mark.
What's the longest game we've had so far in this split?
I want to say like 47, 48, in Korea at least.
We might be beating that.
It's possible.
10:48, definitely going to be a later night for us here. 10:45 rather.
At this point, I'm like, let's break some records. 95 minutes to dream, 1 hour more, we can do it. Freecs, given how much everyone plays these days, everyone wants to go home on the side of Afreeca and Hanwha Life Esports. They won't have to play again this week because the match day is tomorrow, and you don't play in consecutive match days.
Strong pushing forward. The corruption coming down, but instant cleanse from TuSin keeps him safe.
TuSin actually has exhaust as a second summoner. Doesn't have flash.
Yeah. Catch him out. Be very critical to Hanwha's success.
Watching here. Bit of a brush camp from Hanwha Life Esports, but the trouble bubbles haven't been hit in this game.
Yeah, not so much. That'll start in onto Keen, but he's pretty tanky. Not going to be feeling that one too much. Be engaged forward here, looking for TuSin. Gets knocked up by that Glacial Fissure right after the prison. Still is going to be pretty healthy here.
Baron still has the Gragas ultimate. Wait for that.
Aiming, chunking out Lindorong, working him low. Still hasn't forced the ult. Just going to wait for that Warmogs.
Out of command is only on the side of Afreeca and hasn't been used, so the minion wave and bot is grouped very heavily for the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Definitely feels like a couple more banners might speed up the game.
Keen will clear that out. He's got the TP available, so Afreeca going to push forward, clear out some vision around the Baron. But not going to be looking to start this in any capacity.
If we go 60 minutes, we can actually hand off to EU LCS for the Forever League of Legends stream.
possible. Okay, here we go. Hanwha, they're going to try to force a fight, perhaps. Or maybe just peel right back off, force out the TP.
It's pretty defensive TP. This Baron's going down fast.
Yeah, that's going to be Keen coming in. He now arrives, and Hanwha going to peel back. They see that the Darius is here, and they're very happy with drawing his attention away from that bottom side of the map.
But because they don't have the deep vision Achilleos, they have to fully disengage. They're actually going to lose the Scuttle Crab, it looks like, although Lava.
Gets a big burst of damage there onto aiming. Tucson as well. Smarting quite a bit. Do you just go back in as you expect these recalls to happen?
If you have a ward in the brush instead of just over the wall and you see the full recall, then arguably yes. They don't have that extra information. Band of Command was used. It's not currently on, well, maybe it's in the top plane actually. It's kind of hard to tell on our small monitors.
Missile Voyage here from Tucson. True Shot Barrage to check the Baron. Just fly through, and Songwon takes a little bit of damage.
Spirit is, as you can tell, low on gold because he's still sit on Merlinomicon. Hasn't managed to advance. His stacking dream of maybe turning it into a Magi is also out the window.
Yeah. The only component that he really has is damage stopwatch, so that's not going to be doing him really any good outside of a discounted upgrade. There we go, finally gets it.
That's a pretty big upgrade.
Okay, he gets a Zonias.
A broken stopwatch for a Zonias is a pretty good trade. It's like your wristwatch that you got out of a gacha machine turned into a Rolex. That's pretty good. Freaking push up. I guess Spirit can do something insane, like cancel his R animation with E and flash and do all sorts of crazy things now. He has his Zonias.
Triple bubble in on the aiming. Not going to be finding that follow-up Paddle Star. He'll be okay. Scuttle Crab vision going to be expiring here.
Good on the Observer for trying to find something. Look, over here.
Oh, some minions. The Trouble Bubble connecting in on the Spirit. Oh. He's going to try to body slam away just out of range that Paddle Star.
That would have done buckets of damage.
Yeah, that would have been a lot.
A very squishy fat. I feel like this is the least, like, lore-appropriate Fat Man. He's super fast and actually super squishy.
Yeah.
Riot, please. Give the poor man some base stats. Don't know what the food economy is like on the Rift these days. Tom Kent seems to do fine.
Again, just keep spitting it back out, though. Songyun, TP back into the mid. Baron's being pinged right now by Hanwha.
They should start it, because they don't have a teleport on Keen, and they do it pretty fast.
Yeah, they're going to. It's going to be TP out from aiming from the bottom side of the map. Getting ready to join in. See that it's been channeled, and yet again, they will go ahead and kite away. Trouble Bubble connecting, but no Paddle Star to follow up, and Hanwha's just going to keep playing this game around the teleports.
Tucson had exchanged his exhaust for Smite, as this time the Banner of Command's doing some work on the bot side.
Long way to go to push up, but we'll get there eventually.
Coming to a solo queue game near you, Cleanse Smite, Tom Kench.
Lava is trying to poke them out as much as he possibly can.
We're getting some amused reactions from the crowd.
Yeah, Kuro really trying to jump onto the Zoe, even though the portal jump is just going to take him back to his starting point no matter what.
Oh, all right, instant cleanse from Tucson that time.
Yet again.
Still has Smite, Gathering Storm on only one person as, oh.
It's really deja vu. Lava getting chunked out though. Gonna have to kite back. Still has that Zonias available, but we'll be going back to base as the rest of Hanwha sticks forward in the mid lane.
All right, Achilleos, I think we're doing the viewers a disservice. We haven't shouted about anything for a while, so we have to choose new things to shout about in the realm of what's been happening this game.
Oh man, we're gonna beat it!
All right, we're getting close. This could be it.
That's about all I got for right now.
It's almost it. It's 2 more seconds.
There we did it! Hey, longest game. Why are we cursed with this? But all right, Baron going to be started up now. We finally have a real reason to potentially get excited. Afreeca Freecs starting to peel away. Get it down below half. Paddle Star not going to connect.
That's a pretty good rally.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. Throws that one down. Linderon getting chunked down to half. Ultimate's going to be taken away. Keen pulling him in. Decimate comes through and they get pushed back by the Grog Assault.
Linderon.
And all hell about to break loose. One kill coming through though. Songyun finds it there on the Spirit. No jungler available. Zoe following up for another one. Aiming goes down. No one from Hanwha falling. They all stay alive. Sleepy Trouble Bubble in
He's done.
Lava.
Oh, is
Gonna
he?
try to burst him down, and he gets him in the end. Kuro with egg on his face in the end. Does get taken out. That's 4 kills. Tucson, the last one alive. Linderong looking to finish him off.
He smited the damn Grom.
And
so
he's still
funny.
gonna fall 9-5, and that is gonna be it. Hanwha closing this game out, 42.5 minutes just about there on the clock. We close it out, longest game of summer so far, Papa Smithy, but Hanwha get the 2-1 victory over the Afreeca Freecs.
Could there be an any more fitting end to this game? 40 minutes of nothing, 2 minutes of everything. Hanwha Life Esports,
Woo!
778 away in game number 2. They close out game number 3.
Well, no one saw this coming today. Hanwha Life taking the victory away from the Afreeca Freecs, one of our anticipadedly best teams here in the league. Gonna be knocked down a peg now as Hanwha keeps climbing up looking for that top 5 spot.
Everyone is bemused on the side of Hanwha. They know that this was supposed to be over for them about an hour and 10 minutes ago when they were way ahead on the Kaisercom. They couldn't do it, but they do go ahead and will not be reverse swept in this series. They will win. I Love Uv and the Afreeca players look bemused as well. Afreeca, remember, after such an impressive start, have fallen to 3-2 after 5. They join Katie Rolster in the middle of the pack, having lost back-to-back series. Lots of applause for all the players. I'm sure Hanwha already are on record. Getting these guys some nice meals will make them feel pretty good after they beat the Afreeca Freecs.
I think that's why it looks like Songyun is crying right now, because all the good restaurants have already closed because it's about to be 11 p.m.
If we know, and you and I know something about how big Hanwha Life is, I bet they can get them to reopen.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. But perhaps some tears of happiness there from Songyun. If he's even crying, I can't tell.
He's crying, beef tonight, boys. We've done it. We've upgraded. No pork for us. Gonna watch this. It was very close. For this to be a clean ace, kind of amazing, given how close this game was. But we did prophesize that as the game went on, the execution was needed from the side of Afreeca to win, and for Hanwha Life, the Mundo could kind of spare them some execution. They couldn't kill the Zoe. Songyun fell low, but never fell out to his Guardian Angel. A very clean 5-0 for the side of Hanwha Life Esports, as Kuro was so near, yet so far burned to a red buff auto. How unfortunate. Beef for the side of Hanwha Life Esports. No life insurance necessary when it's a clean ace. Now they go on and find themselves right in the middle of the pack with such a big load of teams as the 4-0 teams, or the early starters, have started to fall down.
And now we have to wonder what we're going to see from Afreeca Freecs as we move deeper into the season. What is this starting roster going to be? They have 10 players listed. Who will we see next time out? Will it be Kramer coming back in, or will it be aiming? It's hard to say, but man, that's a lot of Ezreal damage.
I think Mowgli is another one you would consider bringing in.
Oh, absolutely.
If they're playing Griffin, we really do need Mowgli versus Tarzan for reasons. Hopefully we get it. But in this particular game, the Gragas was pretty damn useless. I'm going to be honest, for a 5th pick on the red side, it did nothing. He went AP, and that didn't really do much either, so maybe Spirit, this one needs to go with the Jungle Lulu and put to the side. But now it's not going to work.
Yeah. Throw that one out. Been bad ideas, but good on Hanwha Life. They get the victory while Songwon's family is here visiting. I'm sure they'll be welcomed out to the dinner as well. We should have a grand old time. Our MVP for game number 3 is going to be Lava, 4-1-2 on that Zoe in the end, and actually takes sole possession of first place in our MVP race, just over Kuro.
I guess it was, well, Lava, because it was very difficult to choose between the 5 members of Hanwha Life. There weren't really any super plays this game. It was such a slow grind fest for the first 40 minutes.
Yep.
Showing side lanes at 40 minutes was the best choice. And watch some of the replays here. This was where Songwon, his best Smithy impression, but didn't matter because the timing was after Devour had been faded out. And good roam from Lava, who definitely has an attraction when he's a blue side mid laner to diving the bot side turret. First game Swain, 3rd game the Zoe. And honestly, the one thing you can take away from this series is the better team won, because Hanwha Life won for the majority of game number 2. They won games 1 and 3.
Good to see that they can bounce back after a heartbreak finish in game number 2. That's the kind of thing that can tilt you off the face of the earth, especially in your solo queue. Make you say, you know what? I'm not going to play another game of League of Legends. I'm going to go blow off some steam right now. But they clear their heads during the break. They come back in focused. And, I mean, they just control it. This last fight was looking pretty bad. Given the start, it was a great initiation from Kuro, but the follow-up just wasn't really there. Grog Assault not really isolating anybody, just kind of scattering them.
The moment that Zoe and Varus don't die, neither, with a full engagement from both teams, that's when you know that you are not going to win the team fight. Just a reality for the side of the Afreeca Freecs. Needed execution, didn't get it. So we get a double MVP interview with Lava.
Yeah, good to hear from him. And one of the coaches I would expect here from the side of Hanwha Life. Let's go ahead and throw over to Andy for the final translation at OGN Hero of the Week.
Hanwha Life Esports is able to secure their victory and takes down Afreeca Freecs 2-1. And now we're here with the MVPs of tonight. Lava, you get the MVP today. And now we're here with Lava and Lindra. You are actually ranked first in the MVP rankings right now. You know, as a first place, I think I have the responsibility to be the best. Lindra, you're probably thinking, I'm not even the MVP. Why am I here?
Good question.
You know, everyone in that game was instrumental to the victory, so you know you definitely deserve to be here. So can you do a thumbs up later in the game, later in the interview? Can you introduce yourself and say something to your fans?
간단한 소감? 제 소감? 그래도 이 경기 아쉽게 지고
you know, losing that game in the second set definitely was very unfortunate, but I'm glad we pulled off the victory in the third set.
오늘 너무 좋습니다.
You know, I'm feeling really happy right now with the thumbs up.
진짜 졌으면은
You know, if I lost today, wow. You know, if I lost, it would be a thumbs down, but you know, the current mood, thumbs up. You know, you guys are talking about like, if you lost, what if I lost? You know, talking about the second set. You know, Sang-yoon actually made a few mistakes, and he felt really sorry to the team. You know, there's just a video of him crying, welling up. And you know, Sang-yoon is saying to his teammates, thank you guys. You know, Sang-yoon is always a very bright person, but you know, showing that side of him today definitely was quite interesting. You know, after losing the second set, we definitely were mentally very damaged, and it was hard to come back, but we were able to come on top. So how about we talk about the first set first? You know, Lava, you're just exceptional today. So let's have a look at a few montages. Wow, the swing was perfect. So how was this gang constructed? You know, I knew that Aatrox had no TP, so I was keeping my eye on Trundle as well. And then I saw Trundle, and then I felt like it was a perfect chance to go in. Lava, you're always the one that proactively moves around the map and makes successful ganks. I'm definitely the proactive one. You know, the ADC matchup was definitely interesting today. In the current meta, as a top laner Linderang, do you think it's a little like chaotic right now? No, it's a little chaotic, but you know, if you put your mind to it, like those conventional picks can also be pretty benefiting. Okay, this is the highlight. It's probably like the adventure of Justin. He's just running.
같이 쪼인다 해가지고 아 내가 시간이라도 벌어볼게 하면서 뛰다가 보니까
I just told my teammates that I'm stalling for them, and they were able to take down the top tower.
뛰면 살겠다 했는데 어떻게 운 좋게 산 것 같아요.
And you know, I was just fortunate to live that time.
완벽하게 다 설계는 아니었고
It wasn't perfectly constructed, I guess.
입장에서도 재밌을 것 같아요. 그냥 당연히 뭔가
You know, in the allies' perspective, I guess it was pretty interesting as well.
살았다면서 오니까 좀 웃기더라고요.
You know, I thought he would die, but he lived, and it was quite interesting, funny.
좀 위험하다. 시간이라도 벌어볼게 처음엔 그랬는데.
At first, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, but then I decided to stall time, and then I somehow lived. In Hana Life Esports, they are showing a lot of interesting picks these days. Like top Syndra today was very peculiar in a way.
사실 라인전 쓰는 게 좀 힘들긴 한데 그래도 파밍은 최대한 하려고.
You know, the laning phase was definitely not in favor of me, but you know, I just tried to farm as much as possible.
전 바텀이 제일 힘든 것 같더라고요.
I think the current meta bot lane is definitely the hottest.
엄청 잘하더라고요.
Sangyun was really good today.
탑에서 좀 깜짝 전략을 사용을 하셨는데
You know, in the top lane, you actually executed a very unconventional strategy.
모양이 약간 뭐야? 이런 느낌도 들었었거든요. 이거 준비된 전략인가 아니면 이렇게 해보자라고.
Was that a prepared strategy or was that just impromptu?
쓰는 거잖아요.
그렇죠.
저희가 내부 스크림 할 때 저희 탑 연습생이랑 하면서
You know, in our scrims, we script with our top lane trainee in Hana Life Esports, and then we experimented a lot of things and a lot of strategies. I guess this was the result of many preparations. How do you think you would feel if you were Keen in that moment? But you know, like when the opponent takes Braum, you kind of need to know that they're gonna do this kind of thing. But I would definitely feel bad if I was him.
결과적으로 매치 승까지 이어갔으니까는 하나생명 입장에서는 굉장히 값진
I guess it was a very
이 세트 뭐
worthy victory for Hana Life Esports.
좀 소름이 돋았던 게 오늘 뭐 공교롭게도 카이사 중심의 조합이 두 번이나 나왔는데
Something that sent chills down my spine was that Kaisa came out today twice.
여러 가지 이런 전술적인 움직임이 하나생명이 진짜 연습을
And you know, these macro movements definitely improved for Hana Life Esports, I believe.
그런 카이사 중심 조합은 자신 있게 플레이를 하시는 건가요?
And how do you play so confidently around Kaisa?
조합 제일 먼저 하기도 했고.
You know, we were the ones that pioneered the Kaisa Brown composition.
계속 내부 돌리면서
And you know, just scrimming, and you know, just like practice makes perfect.
사실 그 연습할 때 코치진도 같이 하시는 거잖아요. 엄청 뱀픽.
So during the scrims, I guess your coaches attend as well, right?
그렇죠. 계속 감독님도 머리 아프시다고.
You know, the coaches are very stressed out as well. You know, they are continuously trying to improve the team.
근데 그래도 약간 다 잡고 하니까 늘 수밖에 없는.
But we all set our mind to it, and we were able to become better overall. Okay, let's talk about the third set. You know, the team atmosphere probably wasn't too good. But was there any point in time where you thought you guys were ahead of the enemy?
마지막 경기.
In the last set? Yes,
저는
the third
마지막
set.
경기는 진짜 끝까지 진짜 1도 유리하지 않고.
In the last set, I felt that we were never ahead of the enemy, and that we always had to keep our guard up.
진짜 크다. 한 번에 모든 게 끝난다라고.
And I felt like one small mistake could really just bring about crucial, catastrophic events.
맞아요. 어떻게 되고 언제 이거 그래도 딱 이겼는데 이렇게 느꼈던 순간이 있어요.
But was there any moment in time like where you thought, oh, we won?
다리우스랑 이거 우리한테 이겼다. 끝냈다 이거.
Yes, that time with Darius, yes, we felt that way.
마무리했을 때 와 이건 이겼다 딱 그때 생각한 것 같아.
장면 한번 다시 그럼.
Okay, let's have a look at the highlight.
여기서 술통이 대박이 나면서 약간 악질을 했잖아요.
You know, Spirit, he landed a perfect ult. And it was a very bad moment, a seemingly bad moment for Hana Life Esports. But Sangyun actually made it alive, and he's able to continuously do the damage.
많이 의식을 했기 때문에 비전을 좀 돌아서 쓰려고 했던 것 같은데 그것도 순간적으로 하나생명
And you know, everything worked out in favor of Hanwha Life Esports in the end.
이게 원콤이 안 나더라고요. 무조건 죽을 줄
And
알았는데.
I thought Irelia would die with one combo, but he didn't die, and I was kind of startled.
이거마저도 가져가면서 승기를 굳힌 데
And you know, they take the team fight and they come out on top.
선수들
overall.
입장에서 어떻게 보면은 그 쾌감, 기쁨도 더 클 것 같아요.
You know, I guess there's a lot of satisfaction going on within the team right now. Probably a sense of euphoria.
160 이야기가 나오기도 했었는데 오늘도 그럼 뭐 회식 거하게 갈 것 같은
So I guess you guys are gonna go have dinner after.
아마 오늘도 그래도 맛있는 거는 먹으러 가지 않을까.
You know, I think we're gonna have some delicious food later on,
SNS에 또 올라올 거라서.
and probably gonna post it up on SNS, social media,
요새 팀에서
brag about their food.
I'm just wondering what the budget is.
이런 걸 진짜 열심히
You
하시더라고요.
know, you guys
Big
definitely
affiliates.
advertising about your team a lot on Twitter and other social media.
근데 항상 맛있는 거 주셔가지고.
And I'm really grateful to them because they always provide us with very good food.
선수들도 잘하는 것 같습니다. 자, 이제 인터뷰 마무리하는
As we get to the end of the interview,
때문에 정말 기쁘기도 하겠지만
I guess you guys are very happy right now.
이제 힘든 경기 끝낸 선수들끼리 좀 다독이는 것도 필요할
So you know,
것
after
같아요.
all those hardships, you guys were like, in the end, you guys were seen to be like hugging each other and you know, like
함께 새벽 5시까지 준비한
saying
모든
good words to
선수들,
each other.
팀원들에게 한마디 좀 부탁을
So would you like to say a
드리도록
few words to your teammates?
늦은 시간까지 맨날 연습하시는 그 감독 코치님들이랑
You know, to all the
저희
staff
팀원
and
전부 다
coaches
너무너무
and
고생하고
all our teammates who work day and
감사하고.
night. You know, thank you guys,
감사합니다.
and just thank you.
네.
네, 약간 아쉬웠던 것 같은데 린나랑 선수가 그러면 좀 더 팀원들
So Linda, would you like to add to that?
우리 뭐 이거 목표로 하자 이런 거
You
있으면
know, maybe some resolution or something you want to strive to.
앞으로 아쉬운 경기 없이 다
know,
이기도록.
I hope we don't have any more
열심히
disappointing
다
matches,
하면서
and you know, we'll
하면은
all
앞으로
endeavor
갈수 있을 것 같아서
together
그렇게 하면 될것 같습니다.
to show the best
네.
performance.
앞으로는 정말 승리뿐 아니라 아쉬움이 없는 더 멋진
I hope you guys
승리를
continue
위해서
to show
앞으로도
great
하나생명
performance in the
선수들
future.
다 같이 똘똘 뭉쳐서 많이 준비하고 네, 그 결과물 가져가시기를 기다려
I hope
보도록
you have good
하겠습니다.
results.
오늘 승리 축하드리면서
Congratulations on your win today, and this is the end of the
박수로
interview.
마무리 함께 더 하시기
Throw it back to the
바라겠습니다.
casters.
Thank you very much, Andy, for the translation. Well, there you have it. Hanwha Life Esports getting ready to go out to another tasty meal.
We should
Of that
ask if they
victory
can
there.
fit two more, you know? I could
Yeah.
go for some tasty meals provided by the big chaebol or the big conglomerate Hanwha. Hanwha Life is the specific one here, and they are the deserving victors. It was a long series. You add those numbers together, and we got into around 110 minutes, almost 2 hours of gameplay in our second series. Here's Hanwha leapfrog Afreeca. Look at the teams at 3 and 2. Such a hard one to predict, but it's MVP Afreeca, KT, and Hanwha in that group around the same match score. The difference between 8th and 7th couldn't look any larger.
Yeah, that is a very big gap that we have going on there. A bit of a Grand Canyon happening, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the match schedule moving forward.
We have our last match day of the week tomorrow. That's at Spo TV, Janair versus SKT. Someone has to win and get to one match win. BBQ versus Kingzone. That is going to be rough. And then Tuesday is a banger.
Yeah, Tuesday it's going to be starting things off with a telecom war, followed up by Kingzone. Have that back-to-back match day coming through as they take on Griffin, our current first place team. So current first place versus current reigning champion of the LCK.
But let's zoom forward to the next OGN match day. There'll be 2 of us. Kilios and I will bring you 3 best of 3s, our 3rd out of 4 Super Wednesdays. None of these matches on paper you might think look great, but that first one, they're both 3 and 2 and MVP. Better than people give them credit for, including you and I.
Yeah, it's very true. And that's, of course, going to be an earlier start there, 2 p.m. in Korea, which would be 10 p.m. on the West Coast. So you guys can watch
I'll trust you.
much earlier than you're used to. So you can tune in and stick with us maybe through the whole thing. We'll see if we can get through the whole thing.
I've survived 2 of them already.
You and Atlas have been able to get through 2 of them, so I'm sure that we'll be able to do it as well.
It'll be an endurance test for you, and I'm sure that second series is not exactly what you guys were looking for. But if you want to stand the lanes, you got them. If you want Hanwha to get the surprise, you got that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time we cast, it's a new endurance test here for you and I, Papa Smithy. But we make it through every single time.
Watch EULCS.
Almost 3 years strong. EULCS getting ready to kick off. Go check that out for now. That's going to be it. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Pop, we'll see you tomorrow for more LCK action. Thank you so much for tuning in, KT fans. Don't get excited yet. You guys won the first series, but just don't do it.
Just
You know,
get
that roller
excited.
coaster's
Come
gonna
on,
keep
just
on
get
going.
excited. That's how it goes.
I
Up
say
and down,
don't do it.
Up and down.
Okay, if you're going to get excited, then be ready to be depressed later on. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on Wednesday. He'll see you